What's up, guys? I'm so glad you guys decided to invest in yourself. Um, More importantly, you guys are trusting me with your investment. And guys, before I say anything, if you could do me a favor and grab a notebook and a pen, I can promise you one thing. If you guys take notes and listen to everything I'm telling you, you will make the $100 back, guaranteed 24 hours or less. All right, but you have to take action. It's not just gonna fall in your lap. Okay, just to get started, to introduce myself, my name is Dimitri. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I recently moved to Florida to chase my dreams for as being a business owner. Um, by the glory of God, everything is going great so far. Very grateful, and I'm loving Florida so far. And I feel like for me, the best thing I could do is try to kind of help other people, make money on their own instead of having to work for somebody else, right? So that is the whole reason why I'm doing this, guys. It's not for the money. It's more of just me wanting to help others, and I don't have time, to sit down with each one of you guys individually and help you guys in that way. But everybody is different in their own ways, and everybody's situation is different. So by all means, I'm sure you guys have me on Instagram. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions once you get done with the video, and I will try my best to answer them. So like I said, I'm from Massachusetts. My whole life, I've had regular jobs. I've worked retail, construction, any job you can think of, you name it. Most likely I've done it. That was just how it was brought up, work hard, save your money. These are all things that I was taught growing up. And I honestly believe that, I would be able to get to the level that I wanted to be on by following those steps, right? I'm sure you guys have all heard, we're supposed to get a job, go to school, graduate, go to college, buy a house, have a family, and work a job for the rest of your life. And that's what I thought was normal. I always have, and a lot of people probably always will because, they're just so, what's the word for it? Like programmed into that mindset. And that comes from our parents, and it's sad because, in 2021, that's not the way to do things. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. I've had plenty of them, but you have to use that 9 to 5 to build something for yourself and your family, right? So the way I got started with my entrepreneurial journey was me knowing that I was gonna have a daughter. My fiance was pregnant with my daughter, and throughout that time, I was working a regular job. Right about up until she was born, that's when I started to realize that, you know, me working a job, I'm not gonna have time to spend with my family, right? And that was a big deal for me. But I knew that I had to make legit money. I can't be doing stupid things because that's gonna cause me to not be there for my family. And a man is there for their family, right? So I had about $1,000 at the time my daughter was born. I know it's not much. That's all I had. Times were hard. We all go through it. It is what it is, right? Um, I took that $1,000. I went and bought a work van, and I had a plan to do mobile detailing. So it took me a while to get my equipment. Uh, at the time, to me, it was very expensive. I think between excuse me, between my van and my equipment, I probably spent anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, right? Excuse me. So, once I got my van set up and everything, now it's time to find customers. That was also hard for me because I didn't have anybody around me that was in business, and pretty much everybody I told that I wanted to clean cars laughed at me. They told me it's not gonna work, and that really could have stopped me from, you know, moving forward with it. But I'm hard-headed, you know, and I just went ahead and gave it everything I had, and you know, it ended up working out. I was cleaning, you know, I started cleaning family members' cars, friends' cars, and then, you know, word of mouth is very big, and it turned into something that, you know, I was able to make. At one day, I made, I think, at $600 in one day cleaning cars, you know, and but the thing with that is what it did. You know, the money's not important, but it really opened my mind, right, to believe that I can do anything that I want to do. And after that, you know, I just took off. Like I started just, you know, looking into different businesses and everything. And but you know, I realized when I was doing mobile detailing, it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Some people might think I'm crazy for saying that, but you know, I just wanted to do something else. Um, I sold my van, and quickly, you know, bills started piling up and everything. Shortly after I sold the van, and I was forced to go get a job. At the time, I'm like, you know, I really don't want to go get a job. After making money on my own, I'm like, how am I gonna go work for somebody else? You know what I mean? But I had to suck it up. You know, I got a family now, and you know, so I go get the job. I start working for a company named 1-800 Got Junk. You've probably seen the trucks before, the big green, blue, and white trucks, dump trucks, and start working for the company. And you know, within 1 or 2 weeks, I became a crew lead, which means, you know, I was running the truck, I was handling the paperwork, um, and I noticed something. I noticed that just with me and another man, you know, working my truck, we were bringing in anything from, you know, $2,000 to $5,000 per day. Just, you know, we're stopping at customers' houses, we're picking up couches, you know, old couches, cardboard boxes, you know, basically just household trash, right? And the reason why they were paying us to take this stuff is because, you know, when your local trash person comes, you know, you put out the trash. It's usually just like what you would have in your kitchen, like, you know, food, stuff like that, right? But a lot of cities won't take furniture, and people need it gone, which is where junk removal comes into play. Um, so yeah, basically, you know, I was doing that, and like I said, I realized we were making so much money just with two people in one truck. I thought to myself, like, you know, I wonder if I would be able to make this kind of money on my own if I went and bought a truck, right? So during this time, I'm going into work at about 7 in the morning every day, and some days I'll come home midnight, you know, and like I said, I have a family now, right? So I would leave to work 7 o'clock in the morning. My fiance and my daughter will be sleeping. I'll come home from work 11, 10 o'clock at night, they're sleeping, right? So that was really bothering me. I'm like, you know, I'm trying to do the right thing, trying to be a man and, you know, go work a job and have, you know, health insurance and all these benefits. But I wasn't spending time with my family, and that really bothered me more than anything. Um, you know, so one night, we our boss worked us really hard. I came home about 12 o'clock at night. By the time I walked in the door, I walked in about almost 1 o'clock in the morning from work. And the next morning, I overslept, right? So I text my boss. I said, hey, man, you know, I'm not going to make it in today. I'm tired. My back hurts. He fired me right then and there through text. And I was really nervous because I had just went out and bought a new car. You know, things were going good. I was making good money, right? And now I got serious bills. I have no income. And I'm like, I need to do something fast, right? So at the time I had probably about $3,000 saved up. And I went out and bought a pickup truck. So I went out buying this pickup truck with the intentions on doing junk removal, right? I know it sounded crazy to everybody I told. They're like, well, pickup truck, I mean, what the hell are you gonna do with that thing, right? you know, and I'm telling my family, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start a business doing junk removal, and you know, I'm gonna make all this money, and everybody's just basically laughing at me, telling me it's not gonna work, stuff like that. But I'm hard-headed. I didn't listen, right? So my first week, you know, with being fired, my first week having a truck, I started looking for ways to make money with the truck, right? So what I was doing is I was, again, you know, letting family know, letting friends know, hey, I'm doing junk removal. If you need anything taken, you know, from your house, I'll take it, right? So it started working. I started seeing money coming in just by me having a pickup truck. And I'm thinking to myself, like, hold on, how much money, you know, can I possibly make with this thing, right? And it ended up working out. You know, I ended up building it up. You know, I ended up buying a trailer and everything. I'm gonna get to that shortly. But, you know, I think by myself in one day I made $1,000, you know, within a matter of 2-3 hours. Maybe, I think it was even less than that. But so, you know, that was just, you know, I wanted to introduce myself, kind of tell you a little bit about my story. Now I kind of want to get into mindset and commitment, right? Before you even think about doing this business, you have to be in the right mindset, okay? Our generation is so caught up on, you know, instant gratification. Like, we want everything right then and there, and that's not how life works, you know? I'm also guilty of that myself. I always want things now, but it doesn't work like that, right? So you going into this business, right? You have to understand that you can make as much money as you want to make, but it's going to take time, right? Like anything else. And anything worth having is not going to come easy, right? So, like I said, just keep that in mind, you know, before you even think about doing this, you got to understand that you're going to have to take your time with it. It's going to take time. It's going to be a lot of work, but it is worth it. I promise you. All right. Another thing I want to talk about is ego, right? It's 2021. My generation, our generation, we're so caught up on, you know, we have to have an image, right? Like the jewelry and stuff like that. It really doesn't matter, but a lot of us feel like we have to have these things to be viewed by other people as someone who is cool or someone who is lit, right? But in our reality, I mean, this stuff doesn't do anything for your family. It's just an image, okay? When I started doing junk removal, it took a lot for me to make posts saying, hey, listen, you got trash, I'll come get it. Because I'm thinking, you know, people are looking at me like, oh, this guy, like, you know, he's broke, you know, he's a bum, he's picking up trash. But little did they know I'm making more money than them, right? So push the ego to the side. I mean, if you want this business to work for you, you have to understand right now, the ego got to go out the window, all right? And that's just the honest, raw truth. I mean, because you got to understand, right? If you're making $1,000 a day, you can afford the nice stuff, right? You can go out to the nice restaurants. You can buy jewelry. You can take trips. Hell, you can even go buy a nice car. You can do whatever you want to do. But in order to get to those, you know, the goals that you have, you're going to have to push the ego to the side, and you're going to have to prepare yourself mentally. Because if you can't do that, nothing's going to work for you. Okay? All right, getting started. You're going to need a truck, right? I've seen people do junk removal with cars, right? So, I mean, there's no excuse. You can go to U-Haul, rent a truck for, I think it's, what, $30 a day? 30 bucks a day. I mean, you can do this no matter if you're starting from, you know, ground up. Like I said, everybody's situation is different, right? Some people might have the money to go buy a brand new truck right now. But you know, some people also watching this might not have any money, which is perfectly fine. You know, we've all been there. But I want you guys to know that you can do this with no money. It's possible. All right. Um, but let's just say, you know, you're watching this video, you got a little bit of money saved. All of you are gonna need a truck eventually. But when looking for your first truck, right, you're gonna need a pickup truck. I do not recommend going and buying a brand new truck to do this business. All right, you do not need something brand new. You can go on Facebook Marketplace, apps like OfferUp, stuff like that to find a truck. You can pick up a truck for $1,000, you know, a couple $1,000 just to get yourself started. Just to get yourself started, you know. But I definitely do not recommend you going to finance a brand new truck. Do not do it. Your truck will get banged up. Your truck will get nails in the tires because you're gonna have to go to the dump to get rid of the stuff. Don't do it, all right? Please. And then I also wanted to talk about trailers, right? Like I said, you can start off with just a truck. You can charge by the load, or you can also charge by the job, right? And I'm gonna explain to you how to get these customers. But when talking, you know, when dealing with your truck, if you're just gonna be using your pickup truck, no trailer, you can either decide, hey, you know, I'm gonna charge $250 for you to put your stuff in my truck, or me put your stuff in my truck. A full load is $250, $300, $100, whatever you want to do, right? Whatever works for you. You know, your trailer, right? So what I did starting out was I bought a utility trailer. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of a utility trailer. All right. Excuse me. So you go onto Facebook Marketplace, right? You type in utility trailer. It's gonna be something just like this, okay? You can pick up one of these anywhere from $400 to $1,500. The deals are out there, you just gotta look for them. I think for my first trailer, I paid like $600, right? Once you get your utility trailer, you're gonna have to go to Home Depot and you're gonna buy plywood sheets, right? You're gonna need 3 plywood sheets. I believe they're 4 feet, 4 by 8 feet. And I think they'll run you about, I know wood's high right now. When I did it, it cost me about $20 a sheet, so $60. And you're gonna basically attach them to the side of your trailer. Let me see if I can pull up a picture just to show you guys. All right. There we go. So basically, this is somewhat what it's gonna look like, right? So you're gonna buy your utility trailer and you're gonna get your plywood for the sides. What that's gonna do, right, is gonna give you more space. You can hold more stuff in the back, and also ultimately you can charge more for your jobs because you can fit more stuff in the truck, right? So like I said, you know, you pick up a utility trailer, you get your plywood, good to go, right? You screw it together, ready to go. That's option A. Option B is you go and buy a dump trailer. They're very expensive, but they make your life a hell of a lot easier. I personally never had one. I couldn't justify myself spending the money on it, but now that I think of it, it is a great idea. You can finance them. Definitely worth it, because the thing with the utility trailer is once you load it up, you know, you're gonna have to empty it, right? So you're gonna go to a dump or a landfill, whatever you wanna call it, and you're gonna have to pull off everything by hand, right? So in that case, you're technically working 2 times. You know, you're working once when you get paid, you're loading everything onto the trailer. Then you go into the dump and you're paying the dump to dump your stuff. You have to pull it all off again. Versus a dump trailer, you load it up once, you get to the dump, you hit a button, it lifts up by itself and dumps the stuff, right? So, like I said, you do not need a brand new truck or dump trailer to get started. You're just gonna need to have some energy and, you know, some muscle. Next. So for marketing, right? You know, there's a lot of things you can do for marketing as far as free things. A lot of the things that I did personally is I use Facebook Marketplace, right? So if you go to Facebook right now, right, in your area, wherever you're at, you go to Marketplace and you type in junk removal. You're gonna see a lot of posts just like these. All right. So these two right here are people that are doing junk removal, and you know, they posted pictures of what they do, and most of the time they're not gonna post their prices. They just throw a price up there to get you to click it. But you can do that, and you know, customers will come on here and look for junk removal people, and you'll pop up. All right. That's one way to do marketing for free. Remember, I said free. A lot of other ways is, you know, Facebook is great. I've made thousands of dollars just from Facebook. You know, like I said, you're gonna let everybody know what you do. You're gonna tell family, friends. Your first clients are gonna be your family members or friends, family. You know, you let everybody know. You gotta let everybody know what you're doing, because that's the only way it's gonna work, right? You can't be scared to tell people what you do. Another thing on Facebook is I would go into all my local yard sale groups, because a lot of times when people have yard sales, right, a lot of stuff doesn't sell. The reason they're having the yard sales is because they want the stuff out of their house, right? But if it doesn't sell, guess where it's going? Back in the house. The trash people won't take it. So who are they gonna call? Somebody that does junk removal, which is you, right? Easy play. So you put yourself into all of these yard sale groups on Facebook. I would do once per day, sometimes twice per day. I'll post a picture of, you know, my truck and trailer in these groups, and I'll just simply say, you know, junk removal, we come to you, free estimates, and yeah, you know, just a simple little post like that can bring you thousands of dollars. It really works, guys. Trust me. I know it might sound crazy, but it works. You just can't be scared to do it. So yeah, like I said, most of my jobs were coming from Facebook. There are platforms out there like Home Advisor, Angie's List, but you do not need to use these platforms. Me personally, I've had bad experiences with them. You can try them out if you would like, but also another thing is, when I say business, you know, I know you're thinking of LLC and, you know, corporation and all these business licenses. I was doing this without any of that. This was just me, my truck, and my trailer, you know. But if you guys have the extra money and you guys are, you know, 100% like, this is the business I'm gonna do, I don't care what happens, you are more than welcome to open up an LLC. I definitely would recommend it, especially if you're gonna put signs on your truck. It's free, pretty much free advertising. But you do not need an LLC to get started in this. All right. What do we got? All right. So now that you started, you know, posting on Facebook and you're telling everybody what you do, you go get business cards made. I think Vistaprint is like 100 cards for $20. It might be more. Correct me if I'm wrong. But But you know, you're starting to get some traction going. You're starting to get customers. Everything's going good. You're making money. You know, you're gonna be dealing with customers, right? So dealing with customers, you have to understand that people are cheap, right? Myself personally, I'll say $5 in a minute if I can, right? But when you're dealing with these customers, they're looking for the cheapest price, right? So you gotta understand you're not gonna land every single job. Me personally, at first I was doing estimates through pictures. You know, somebody would call me for a job. I'll say, hey, you know, I'll be at another job, so I can't go over there right now. And I was being lazy a little bit. I'll say, hey, you know, just send me a couple pictures of what you got and I'll give you a price through text. Bad idea, because they're gonna take a picture and it's gonna look like just a little bit of stuff, right? But 9 times out of 10, right, when you pull up to the job, it's gonna be more than you've seen in pictures. You gotta remember, you're seeing this through a phone, not in person. And you had already gave them a price through text, so they're gonna hold you accountable to that, right? It's happened to me a lot of times. You know, I give somebody a price through text message or Facebook, whatever, and you can't go back on your word. Once you give them your price, you give them your price, because you know damn well if you go up there and you're like, hey, you know, it's gonna be more, most likely they're gonna say, oh, forget it, you already told me your price, get out of here, I don't want you to do it. So when you do that, you bite yourself in the foot, because like I was saying, you know, you go, you give them your price, you go and you get there and you realize it's more than you anticipated. You got to do the job anyway, and now you're probably not gonna make too much money off the job, right? So guys, do not be lazy. You know, when a customer calls, I don't care if they're 30 minutes away, you know, schedule a day and time, go up there, look at the job in person before you give them any kind of price, all right? What else we got here? All right, now, when your truck and trailer gets full, right? Now what, right? What do you do with all the stuff? There's places near all of us, you know, some places, you know, are called a dump, a landfill, transfer station. It's basically where you go to get rid of all the stuff, right? So dumps, transfer stations, you know, they usually charge by the ton. I know where I was living in Massachusetts, I was using the Stoughton dump. They were charging me something crazy, like $200 per ton, right? So every 2,000 pounds is $200, which is crazy. Down here in Florida, I think it's like $40 per ton, but the prices fluctuate, you know what I mean? You can't charge down here for a job what you would charge back in Massachusetts. So I know it sounds crazy, you know, there's a lot of things that go into it, like, you know, your dump fees, you know, charging the customers, everything. You're gonna make a couple mistakes. It's okay. Everybody does it. But you have to fail forward, right? You have to make the mistakes, because when you make a mistake, next time you're in that situation, you're not gonna make the same mistake, right? Especially if it's costing you money. So yeah, like I said, you know, you're gonna find your closest place where you can get rid of the stuff and see what's gonna make sense for you. When I was doing it, you know, a lot of people, companies, people, they charge, you know, by the load. So they might say, hey, you know, it's $500 for me to fill up the trailer with your junk, right? But me personally, I was charging per job, because I found that I was making a lot more money that way. Because for example, if you're my customer and I come to your house and I say, hey, you know, it's $500 or $1,000 to fill this trailer, you're gonna put as much stuff in there that you possibly can, right? That's not a smart thing to do, because you gotta understand, you can go do, just say, you know, 5 jobs at $200 a piece, right? That's $1,000. If you can fit all of that in your trailer at once, you made 1,000 versus making 500 just because you wanted to charge by the load. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to, you know, your landfill or your dump or whatever, they're gonna have things that they charge more money for. All right. A few things that I could list off the top of my head is TVs. I think TVs like $40. Tires are 25. Propane tanks, about the same $25. Mattresses are really big because they have Freon inside of the mattress. It's supposedly, hazardous, but it's just a way for them to charge extra money. So keep in mind, if you're going to a customer's house and they got 10 mattresses, and you're like, hey, I could fit this all in the trailer. You got to do the math. If they're charging $50 per mattress, you add up the math. I mean, it's ridiculous. So whatever they're gonna charge you at the dump, you have to figure the stuff out, guys. You can call your local dump and ask them for the price list. Whatever they're charging you for those items, you need to be charging, I don't want to say double, because it depends on, if that's the only thing you're picking up is one mattress, absolutely you're gonna charge way more than what you're gonna be charged at the dump. But just make sure you're making something on top of that fee, because you don't want to be taking anything for free, right? All right, let's see, what do we got? All right, transfer station. I told you guys about the fees. Another thing is scrap metal, right? When you're doing these jobs, you're gonna get a lot of metal. And like I explained to you before, the dumps are charging by weight, right? So what I would personally do when I did my jobs was, if I did a job that had, just say for example, some, rims, car rims, washer, dryer, I know that's all metal, it's heavy stuff, right? So I would take those out of my trailer, put them to the side, go take care of the trash at the dump, come back, load all the metal up. It has to be only metal, guys, all right? You load all your metal up, and there are places called scrap yards, right? Basically, when you get to the scrap yard, it's gonna look just like the dump, all right? You're gonna drive on a big scale with your truck. They're gonna weigh your truck. You go and dump your stuff, and you're gonna drive on the scale again when you're leaving the yard. There's gonna be a difference in the weight from when you came in and when you leave. The dump, the landfill, right? When you're getting rid of your stuff, they're charging you. But when you go to these scrap yards, they're paying you for your metal, right? So keep in mind that they're not gonna pay you much. I mean, I think, a full trailer load, I believe it was 6 by 12 feet, my trailer. A full scrap metal load, I would get like $150, right? But it's still money, that's gas money, lunch, things like that. It can go towards your dump fees. So keep in mind, scrap metal, don't be lazy and just dump it all at the dump, because you're gonna get charged more money. And remember, when you guys are running business and, doing these things, you wanna save money as much as possible, right? All right, let's see. Other ways to make money with your truck. Me personally, junk removal was really what I was doing. You absolutely can offer people, for example, like if people need furniture picked up and they don't have a truck, you fit in, because guess what? You got a truck. You charge them, $100 to $200-$300 depending on what they need done. You go pick the stuff up, drop it off. I mean, the average job is not gonna pay you more than $100 a day, right? And let's remember, when you're clocking into a job, most likely you're getting paid once a week, if not bi-weekly, right? When you're doing this business, junk removal or, whatever it might be, you're getting paid cash every single day. Nothing is better than that, right? So you're literally getting paid every day for the work that you put in. You go out and work an hour, you might make $100, right? You go out and put in 10 hours, you could come home with $2,000, $3,000, depending on how serious you want to be with this business, right? Another big thing too is with the trailers, right? If you go out and invest in a dump trailer, like I said before, you can absolutely finance these things, right? Dump trailer usually goes for about Brand new, I want to say 10 to 15,000. You can absolutely find some used for like 5,000, depending on how big of a trailer you get. But dump trailer rentals are a big thing as well, because some people, they have big houses, and they like to do stuff themselves. They might want to go pick up some mulch, for their yard or whatever the case may be. You can rent them your trailer for the day. It's almost like passive income, because you're not doing anything. They come pick it up and they go do what they got to do. They bring it back undamaged. You're good to go. You're good to see your next customer. So that's also another way to create income. Okay, this is a big one. When you go and do these estimates, okay, you need to be, how do I say it? You need to be, you need to believe in yourself, right? Because when I would go to customers at first, I'll look at a job and I'll be like, wow, like this is a lot of stuff, like I really want to tell them, like, it's going to be $1,000. And I would say, I'll do it for $250. Just because I wanted the money and I didn't want to miss out on the job. And they'll say, yeah, in a heartbeat. And I'll think to myself, like, what if I said 500? You never know, because you jump so quick, and you underestimate yourself. You're losing out. Now you're doing a job. You're picking up wood, whatever the case may be. You're sweating. Like, damn, like I messed up, So if you go to a job and you want to charge $10,000, which is crazy, in most cases, I mean, the average job I was doing would range from $250 to $1,000, right? But what I'm trying to say is, you're gonna learn this as you go, when you learn your dumb fees and everything. But do not be scared to tell the customer your price. Your price is your price, all right? Most of the time, they're gonna say, oh, no, that's too much. Thank you for coming out. That's when you can come back in. If you really want a job, you say, okay, well, I can do it for this. If they're still saying, no, okay, if you want to keep going with it, you come down a little bit. Don't cut yourself short, because you will absolutely regret it, all right? But like I said, don't be scared. You got this. You can do it, all right? Just tell them. Like I said, if you want to charge $500, I can do this job for $500. That's it. Don't be scared. You lose a job, there's always more, all right? Let's see. When it comes to marketing, right? Like I explained before, I'm sorry guys if I'm a little, jumping back and forth to certain things, because this is just, I'm going off the top. But as far as your marketing, like I told you, Facebook is great. Another thing that worked great. So yeah, like I was saying, Facebook is great. Like I explained to you guys, you can use the marketplace to make your posts. And when you're making these posts on marketplace, you want to put up as many as Facebook will allow you. But the key to that is, you're gonna have to use different pictures every time. So, you could take a picture of some trash over here, another picture of your truck, another picture. You get what I'm saying? Just different pictures, and they'll allow you to post as many posts as you want, right? So another thing that has always worked great for me in all of the business ventures that I've started are bandit signs. They're called bandit signs, right? You can find these signs on dirtcheapsigns.com. I think I was paying like $100 for 100 signs. You guys have seen them on the telephone poles. They're pretty much, they're probably about this big, and you basically put it on the telephone pole, staple it on. You buy yourself a stapler from Home Depot. And, the sign will basically state, junk removal, free estimates, and your phone number, right? That will get a lot of people calling you, believe it or not. When I started doing it, I was embarrassed to get out there, and like in front of people in broad daylight putting up signs. Like they're probably looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? But I was making a lot of money, right? Once I started making money, I didn't really care what anybody thinks. about me, right? And I'm sure it will be the same for you guys once you guys overcome the ego thing like we spoke about before, right? So yeah, the bandit signs are a great way to bring customers. Um, what else? I mean, there's so many things you can do. I'm sure you'll figure out, what's gonna work best for you. Like I said, if you guys decide that you want to use Angie's List or Home Advisor, you absolutely can. They do charge you, and it didn't work for me when I did it, but who knows? It could work for you. Um, Another thing is, every time you're doing these jobs, you want to ask one of the customers, hey, if I give you $20 off, or you got to understand, if you say you're going to give them $20 off, you think about that in your head already. So make sure you're charging that extra $20 when you give them your price, if you get what I'm saying. So for example, if you were going to charge them $500 for the job, right? You say, hey, the job's going to be $520, but I'll give you $20 off if you allow me to put one of my signs in your yard, right? So like I said, you want to put these signs everywhere possible, okay? Another thing is Craigslist. I believe it's $5 per listing on Craigslist. It works. It's not going to bring you the best customers, but you'll make money, all right? Another thing you can do is, go to apartment complexes, right? And speak to the leasing office and just say, hey, I do junk removal, and if it's possible, I'd love to leave some of my business cards here for your tenants. When they have furniture they need to get rid of, I'll absolutely come by and take it for you guys, right? There's so many ways to get customers. That used to be my biggest fear, is like, nobody's gonna pay me to take trash or clean cars, whatever. I was starting, I was always nervous, and I still get nervous to this day. Even in my business ventures that I'm starting, it's just something that everybody's always gonna have. No matter how positive you are, no matter how much you believe in yourself, there's always gonna be that little thing in the back of your mind saying, what if it doesn't work? But you can't think like that, because like I said, I started all of this when my daughter was born. If I didn't take that leap and, put my ego to the side, most likely I'd still be working for somebody. Right now, I can pretty much go out to eat wherever I want, can take my family on vacation, and, not bragging at all. Like I said, I'm very grateful to be able to do the things I am, but I would have never been able to do these things if I didn't believe in myself, right? And take that leap. So I'm encouraging you guys to please believe in yourself. You can do it. And it might not even be junk removal that you want to do. You might want to start selling clothes, right? But it's very important to understand that every business started off with an idea, right? And when you clock into work, you're really helping somebody else build their dreams, right? Which, like I told you before, it's absolutely fine as long as you have a plan to start something for yourself, right? Do not get too comfortable working that 9 to 5. If that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, I'm not throwing any shade. That's absolutely fine. But I want to encourage as many people as I can to, work for themselves, to create, wealth for their families, and also have more freedom, right? Because life is short. You want to spend as much time with your family as you can. Another thing is Instagram, right? So on your Instagram, we all know how easy it is to create an Instagram account, right? If you have a personal page and you want to leave it as your personal page, that's absolutely fine, right? You can create a separate page, and when you're creating that page, you can click business page. You want to make it a public business page, okay? Once you create that page, you want to put all your information on there, what you do, plenty of pictures. Customers love seeing who you are. So, like I had a video that I had made. I'd never really been a camera person. I'm kind of uncomfortable right now. It's not what I do, but like I said, I want to do this and help out as many people as I can. But I had made a video, right? Holding the phone like this. Hey, in front of my truck, my work truck. Hey, this is Dimitri from Junket. This is what we do. We're working at a customer's house now. And what I did was, I had made the business page on Instagram, posted the video, and Instagram will give you an option to boost your posts, right? Basically running ads. What that's gonna do is, they're gonna charge you a fee. I believe the minimum is like $5 a day, and when you're doing these posts and you're choosing how much you want to pay, it will give you an estimate on how many people your post is gonna reach, like how many people per day is gonna see your post, right? So I think I was doing maybe like $5 to $10 per day, 7 days a week, and I was getting 3, 4, 5 calls a day. Just based off of what I was doing with the Facebook, the Craigslist, word of mouth, and Instagram, right? So guys, I just wanna, break it down for you, right? Let's say you wanna make $10,000 a month. To some people, that's a lot of money. It is great money, right? So you break it down, right? You got 4 weeks in a month, okay? It's $2,500 per week, okay? What does that mean? $500, 5 times, right? So if you wanted to be on a schedule, right? Say Monday to Friday, take Saturday and Sunday off. Fine. You need to make $500 Monday through Friday every single day to hit that number per month. And mind you, this is gonna be your gross, right? You're gonna have to factor in your gas and your dump fees, but you wanna hit 10K a month, right? You can either do one job per day at $500, which is not hard to do. I promise you, once you get the hang of this, you will understand that $500 is a very low number when it comes to this business, all right? Or you can do 2 jobs a day at $250, which is even more realistic, in a lot of people's mind. When I hear $250 for a job, I'm thinking maybe, a dryer, or a couple chairs and a small couch, or small stuff. For $250, the customer's not gonna get much out of me, and they shouldn't get much out of you. So like I said, you do $250, 2 jobs a day, 5 days a week. 4 weeks in a month, you're touching $10,000 a month, all right? And you can scale it up from there. You do $1,000 a day and so on, and 2,000. You get where I'm going with this. I mean, the sky's the limit. So, but you got to start off realistic and just understand when you're starting off. I'm not saying you can't touch 10,000 a month your first month, because you absolutely can, but don't get discouraged if you don't, because it's all about learning and growing, right? So another big thing that I want to talk about is being professional, right? When people look at me, they don't see a businessman, if you will. They see a young kid that got tattoos, and they're gonna automatically assume that, I'm not professional, right? I might be a threat, or I might be a bad person, which I'm absolutely not, and I don't think any of you are. But as minorities, we have to understand that that's how a lot of people view us, no matter what we do, right? So if you pull up to a customer's house and your pants are hanging down to your knees, right? You think they're gonna pay you $250 to $1,000 to take something from their house? Absolutely not. They're gonna say, okay, we'll let you know, and they'll never call you back, right? You need to make sure when you're going to see these customers, right? Have your pants up. I'm not saying you have to tuck your shirt in. You don't got to go that extreme, but you got to be presentable. How you present yourself to the customer is going to determine whether or not you're going to get the job and whether or not you're going to make good money on the job. All right. I think that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can absolutely DM me on Instagram. I will answer them. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I appreciate you investing in yourself. And that's going to be all. Thank you so much.